Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Raza, and I am an engineer. I went to Western University, and since I graduated, it was always a question in my mind, how do I continue to grow my wealth? And I've been in the landlord game I rented all my life until I graduated. Then I worked, and still I was renting. Probably not the best decisions. And I started my MBA at that point. Once I finished my MBA, I had more of a business acumen, and right after that, I acquired my first family home, my own property, and that got me into rentals. So that was around 6 years ago. Since then, I continued to expand one after another, and I mostly focused on student rentals and now duplexes, portfolios. But that's kind of the focus right now. Yeah, I've made many mistakes, as all landlords would, and part of student rentals is that there's a lot of turnover. So you have to be, as a landlord, you have to be very careful into selecting the right student. That's where a lot of concerns come as a landlord, even though I started with it. If I had known about SingleKey earlier, I think I would have saved some at least mind hassle, but we got through, and that's the experience that got me to the next phase of the landlord portion, which is now having insurance policies effectively for each of the mitigation scenarios. Mostly it was about researching what tools are available in the marketplace to mitigate risks for landlord, how to help landlords better. And as I was looking into insurance policies and typical insurance that all landlords have to get, during my research, SingleKey showed up as one of the rent guarantee programs. These things were popular in the US before, as I read, but none in Canada. So having SingleKey in Canada really attracted from that point, and since then we've been using them for all of our portfolio that's rented. Yeah, one of the main troubles for a landlord is when a tenant doesn't pay, right? When you're selecting tenants, it's also a question about you have to fill the place quickly, otherwise you're putting money from your pocket. And sometimes you make mistakes. It's never easy to screen a perfect tenant, even though we had tenant reports. And similarly, we ran into problems where the tenant lost their jobs, which is okay. It's not, tenants aren't trying to not pay you. Most of them are just trying to get by day to day as well. And if they lose their job, that is a scenario that was happening all over the place during the pandemic. And then they can't pay, then they have to move. So in that case, everyone gets screwed in the end, and landlords being one of them. So we ran into that as well with some of our units, more than one, I have to say. And the mitigation plan was SingleKey kicked in, the rent guarantee program was there. And it really has been helping, at least for that one unit where we had them, where we are getting the rent guarantee and we are getting the rental income, so it doesn't stress the landlords from a financial point of view as much. And having the legal aspect to cover all of the eviction process really helps from that side as well. There's a lot of barriers to entry. People may think that access to real estate is becoming harder and harder. And people may think that access to money is even harder, saving a down payment, buying your first property, not even speaking about renting it, finding the right tenants, having financial, what we call cash flow positive properties. But my advice would be look for the opportunities. And once you acquire a property, then use all the tools at your benefit, like SingleKey for rent guarantee mitigation, have a legal team available so they can take over in scenarios where, the inevitable scenarios where headaches are caused. And if you can have some strategies to tackle those things, scaling up becomes easier. And that's the goal. It's not just one property. It's how do you buy your next and the next after that. Yeah, no, we're fully supportive of SingleKey, and we have the plan to use them for all of our rentals. As soon as we start renting, we think about rent guarantee programs in general. And even within my family, I've already recommended SingleKey to all my cousins who are starting up as young landlords. And these are the lessons that we learned, so they can learn from our mistakes and be better landlords. That's the hope.